to the last game of the PUL regular season for the Philadelphia Surge and New York Gridlock, a rivalry between these two teams. I'm Caroline Weinberg, and I'm joined today by Emily Shields. Tell us about what's going on down there, Shields.
Yeah, sure. We have a beautiful day in Philadelphia. It's 87 degrees. The wind's a little gusty. It's 13 miles per hour currently. This is as Caroline said, this is a really great rivalry. Last time, Surge's last game they played against Gridlock was the first time they had beaten Gridlock since their inaugural season a few years ago. Especially interesting that Gridlock is not in championship weekend this year. This is the first time since 2022 that Gridlock have not made championship weekend. As you can see on your screen, the playoffs are already set. Philly Surge has already taken the first spot in the Northern Division. Indy Red, who beat Gridlock last week, is the second seed. In the South Division, DC Shadow has taken the first seed, followed by Atlanta, who is the second seed. Championship weekend is June 20th, 21st in Durham. It's going to be super exciting. I personally cannot wait to watch.
Yeah, I mean, all of these teams are so talented. I feel like what we learned in the Northern Division this regular season is that there is a lot of parity between a lot of these teams. You know, Surge had close games with Gridlock, with Strike, with Indy. Indy had, switched around. Yeah, we can see the standings here. What you can't see here is the point differential between a lot of these games was really close. But Surge is undefeated, and that's exciting. That has not occurred for Surge so far in its seasons, and so certainly they're going to be looking to hold on to that undefeated record tonight. It's kind of an interesting game, I think, because as Emily mentioned, the playoffs are set, so the teams aren't necessarily playing for a certain playoff outcome. They're kind of just playing for pride, for this rivalry. What are you excited to watch?
There are so many players in this game that I can't wait to watch. On the Gridlock side, I think I'm really excited to see Gina Cartagena, honestly one of the best players in the world. She's won numerous awards in the club division. She has Offensive Player of the Year. She's just kind of a cheat code on offense. She's extremely hard to stop. Also in this game, we see the return of one of her teammates who's only played in, I think, one game this season, who is Valeria Cardenas, also one of the best players in the world. The combination of the two of them is extremely difficult to stop, and I can't wait to see if Surge is able to do that. On the Philadelphia side, Lindsay McKenna and Grace Maroon both having MVP caliber seasons. Lindsay is a fantastic player. She leads the team in both goals and assists. She has 12 goals and 16 assists. It's really difficult to stop her. She's a fantastic athlete, a fantastic player. She's played on the world stage. She's a superstar in club. Grace Maroon, also a superstar, having an extremely great season. She's second on the team in plus minus. Also very difficult to stop. There's lots of players on both of these teams that are super fun to watch, but I think those four players are the ones that I'm looking for in this game.
Yeah, and as a lover of defense, just shouting out Sadie Jezerski on Gridlock. And here we go. We're off to the races. Gridlock starting on offense. Getting it to Connerly, number 3 on Gridlock. And down the field to Waverka for...
Oh, that's a tough throw. As I mentioned, it is fairly windy, and I think we'll see a lot of throws affected by wind today. So if there's one turnover, I think both teams can still get it back on defense.
Really early break opportunity.
Oh no. That was a great looking throw. It was a great look, just not able to reel it in.
And so Gridlock gets the disc back. It's their O point, and they'll have to work it down the field once again. In the hands of...
this is Banta Ryan, who's sort of running the offense here for Gridlock.
Who gets it back to Connerly now. And to Waverka. Jolie Krebs, number 24. trying to run some offense.
Looks like New York is taking a lot of short passes here, which is smart given the wind. As you can see there, that was a very contested pass. The longer you throw these passes in the wind, the more they can be affected and the defense can have a shot at them.
Banta Ryan again with the disc. Cartagena to Krebs.
Just a little bit ambitious there. I like the look. And again, in the wind, these throws are really difficult to hit.
Exciting start to the game. Kind of a long point. 3 turnovers so far. I thought that Gridlock was being really patient there.
Taking these short throws. Absolutely. It's just hard when you get closer to the end zone. You get this tunnel vision. You see one of your players open deep, and you just have to throw it.
Surge working it. McKenna to Faye Epstein with the disc now, who gets it to Liv Steinberg. Semper. McKenna. Big shot.
It's so funny how the first point of the game always seems like this, right? Everyone's getting a little bit comfortable. You know, there are warm-ups, but once you get to the real game, sort of just the emotions take over, and sometimes it gets the most of you. I expect both of these teams will calm down, and we'll have a lot more clean holds as the game goes along.
It's interesting, at least those 2 offensive possessions, it was really similar, like short throws, and then one big unleashing, which didn't work out for either team. But Gridlock will now have a 3rd chance to hold. Really quick give and go between Krebs and Banta Ryan. Great grab from Connerly. Ambitious.
I like the shape of that throw. It was just, I think M. Mulder had that one pegged the whole time. She was really looking at the thrower there and able to get it back on defense for the surge.
Steinberg again. The disc on the near side of the field.
I think one of the most interesting rules in the PUL, different from other Ultimate people may have played before, is that when you call a timeout, you get to sub on a whole line. Wow, very good predicting by me there. We have a timeout from Surge, and so I was about to say this will allow them to sub on a new line, especially on points like this where we've been playing this point for a little more than 4 minutes. It's a huge advantage to be able to sub a fresh offense onto the field.
Definitely. And you can't quite see it in the throws, I'd say. They've been playing fairly clean except for those big shots, but if you look closely at the players' jerseys on the film, the wind is coming strong, and you can kind of see it ruffling this new surge. It looks like an O-line, I think, that they're putting on.
I think so. It does look a lot like an O-line. Looks like Lindsay McKenna is still out there. I think she's the only one who's remaining from the previous line that was put on the field. So I'm assuming Surge will try to go through her to punch this goal in. So in the handler space, we have Sarah Liang, Graham Cunningham, and Allie Milligan. It looks like Surge is setting up some sort of isolation play or horizontal stack, which I think is a nice idea here. I think with the wind like this, working the disc up through the middle is a really good strategy. I think the hucks are much more difficult when you're stuck on a sideline.
Sarah Liang finds Sarah Hiranet in the middle of the field. Hiranet to Cunningham. Milligan now.
This is great defense from Cassie Brown on Allie Milligan. She's a fantastic handler defender, really making life tough.
And who else but McKenna catching that disc almost behind her head.
Looks like we have a call, though. Back to the thrower. Hand signals are indicating a violation of some sort. Did you see what happened there, Caroline?
I wonder if it seems like it's related to the throw, which Allie Milligan's throw popped up a lot.
Could have been a late stall. So perhaps discussing a stall. But it seems like the disc is staying with McKenna.
Nice grab by Morse. This point that started as an O point for Gridlock will end in a surge break.
For who else? Lindsay McKenna.
Lindsay McKenna with the score, assisted by Allie Milligan. And that's about half of the first quarter.
That's right. I think Surge will take it, though. I don't think they care how long it takes them to score. They just care they're up 1-0.
I mean, it's interesting in the PUL racing against the clock in a way that's different than other forms of Ultimate. Having long points like this, if you can punch them in at the end, it's kind of an advantage. Let's take a look at some of these plays.
I love that. I love that throw from Lindsay McKenna. You want to turn it, if you're at a high stall, you're at stall 8, stall 9, you want to turn it over downfield. Give your receivers a shot to catch that. And that's exactly what she did, and it really worked out there for Surge. So now we see another Surge D-line, which features a lot of the same folks we saw in the first point. Looks like Linda Morse is going to pull here.
We've got some new folks on the line, though, too. Poppy Wagner and others. And we'll get another O-line from Gridlock that looks
fairly similar to the previous one, although I still don't see Valeria Cardenas, so perhaps she's not playing this game. Perhaps she's on the roster but wasn't able to play. I have not seen her yet, so that's something to keep an eye out for.
Deep pull. Fan will send her to Connerly, who will then find Cartagena. Great inside from Connerly.
That just didn't work out. I liked the idea there. It's not quite enough spin on it for this amount of wind. So this is great for Surge. They get the disc about 20 yards from the, or even closer, 10 yards from the end zone. Let's see if they can put it in.
Really beautiful around backhand from Semper. Maroon now.
Looks like Surge is really trying to get this goal through the 3 people that are active in this set. So that's Semper, Maroon, and Liang. The 3 of them really working well together here.
Semper finds Morse. A lot of patience from Surge here.
Great throw. And that's another Surge break. Wow, so it's 2-0 Philadelphia.
That was...
Looked like Semper to Wagner, I think.
I missed exactly who scored, but let's see it.
Never mind, to Thompson. I'm so sorry. Semper to Thompson.
Fans, more t-shirts are coming at you. Get
I liked this look from Semper, kind of looking for the upline, but then finds this crafty inside. That's number 36, Abby Thompson. Would you have predicted a 2-break start for Surge?
It's hard to know what to predict in these games. When these teams play, it is such a game of runs. One team can go up 2 or 3 breaks, 2 or 3 points, and that does not mean the other team is out of it by any measure.
Yeah, it's true. The 2 teams played 3 weeks ago, and Gridlock went up by a fair amount in the first half. It was certainly a game of runs.
Especially another very hot game. If it's 87 degrees out in the air, the turf is even hotter. It always is.
Right.
So fatigue is definitely something to watch out for in the second half. But for now, we got Gridlock back on offense.
Slightly different group here.
Looks like they moved Jazerski to the O-line here to try to get their first point. Surge is coming out in a zone look here. It looks like they have 1 marking. It looks like Harnage is the mark. So Gridlock is really going to have to go either over or through the cup, and so far they have chosen over. Let's see if it continues to work.
Yeah, some exciting throws from Jazerski. Pressburg has it now.
Surge doing a really good job of picking up the crashes into the cup here. I think that's the most difficult part of playing a zone, is knowing who is going to pick up the offense when they come running into the cup to stop these short throws that reset the stall count.
Absolutely. Seems like there were maybe multiple things called here. Perhaps first a double team.
Yeah, I think so too.
The cup didn't back up. The cup then tried to call a stall.
Perhaps a travel there too. I think a lot going on this point.
Fun call salad happening. So we'll see if they decide to go to the observer.
Looks like the disc will stay with Pressburg either way here. What do you think of Surge coming out here in a zone look? Do you like it after 2 points of playing person defense and converting these breaks? Do you like that we switched over to zone?
Yeah, it's an interesting choice. I think zone definitely makes sense in windy conditions like this, and so I almost would have been less surprised if we had played a zone when we started on defense after that first break. But Gridlock able to get out of it.
Ooh, I'm not sure about that one. Looks like some confusion about whether it was up or down. Really difficult to see from here. A lot of people pointing. So many of Jazierski's throws come out with these really creative angles. She sees the field better than almost anyone. Sometimes almost too fast for her teammates. But that one looked like it'll be a goal, so that would be Sadie Jazierski into the end zone for Maida Leary, I believe. And that will be Gridlock's first goal. So it's 2-1 Surge.
Wow, not only was that a crazy throw, it was also a crazy catch.
It was an extremely good catch. I very impressed that she caught that.
Yeah. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but that was a clean hold.
That was a clean hold. No
From
turnovers.
Gridlock.
I believe has to be our first one. And we'll see if Surge's O-line can also convert a clean hold on their first O point of the game. So who do we have out here for the Surge O-line? Looks like we have Liang and Cunningham out there. They'll probably be in the handler space. Let's see who we have on the Gridlock D-line. I think a pretty standard D-line. We have Jazierski pulling. Pulling is such an underappreciated part of the game.
Totally
If you can
agree.
pin your offense deep on the field, it's a huge advantage for your defense. And Jazierski really brings that to the Gridlock deep pulls.
That's fishtowndentistry.com.
That one looks like it'll be out of bounds, though, so Surge will get it in decent field position.
Sarah Liang gonna start with the disc in the middle of the field. Immediately getting it to soaring Grace Maroon. Cunningham.
I like that Surge is using the break side of the field here. Gridlock is forcing forehand, and Surge is really working hard to get it on that backhand sideline. It really opens up the field and gives them the option to throw it into the middle.
Milligan now.
Oh, just miss. Let's see if Gridlock can put in their first break of the game here.
Will the runs run back the other way? Cassie Brown with the disc.
Nice. Very good. I think Liang and Morris both had a crack at that defense.
Cunningham for Surge.
Linda Morris with the block.
Milligan to Morse. Who will fire?
Love that throw. What a great shape on that throw. She really had to put outside in on that throw to keep it in Sarah Hironet's hands and out of the defense, and she did that absolutely perfectly. What a fantastic throw.
And let's talk about Sarah Hironet. What an amazing receiver who's been playing Ultimate for so long, just such a veteran of the game. Her cut timing is unmatched in my opinion. Like, I just feel like whenever a handler on Surge gets the disc in power position, you can almost bet Sarah will be streaking deep.
Absolutely. Sarah Hironet brings something to Surge that not a lot of other receivers do. She's a great target. She has great hands. She's fantastic in the air, and she's a little bit taller. I would say often she's taller than her defender, and it really gives the Surge handlers and other throwers really great options, especially in the end zone. She really has a nose for the end zone, which is so important in these games. She's also a mom.
She's also a mom.
She is such a great leader of this team, though. Looking down at the field now, she's talking with other people on the line, always trying to make adjustments. She is a very special player, and Surge is very lucky to have her.
Definitely. So Surge able to hold and maintain their 2-break lead. It's a little bit of a short pull from Surge, but trapping Gridlock on the sideline. Cartagena with the disc.
Great mark by Alvi here. That's fantastic field vision from Krebs.
Crossfield blade gets it to number 4, Weberka. Back to Cartagena. Krebs is such an athletic player. Amazing grab.
She always makes catches you don't think she's going to make.
Some sort of call happened off the disc in the middle of the field.
Looks like there's a foul, but it's staying with Krebs here.
Gridlock on the doorstep, but they'll have to work it. And Krebs will toe the line, get that in, receiving from none other but Cartagena. That was a really quick, clean hold.
Definitely. I think one person touched the disc there other than Cartagena and Krebs. I think on the line they must have talked about we have to do this one ourselves this point to make sure we can stay within a goal of Surge here.
I mean, they're showing Surge in that point the way they can play offense. And, you know, this point, a world of difference from the first point of the game.
That's such a great cut by Krebs right there, and you can really see that she and Cartagena have played together and know exactly what the other one is going to do. There, it looks like Krebs is going for this upline open side pass, and she just cuts right back for that 7 cut. Cartagena knows she's going to do it and hits her right there. That is so difficult to stop. And just one of the reasons why Gridlock has been sort of a standard setter for this league in past years.
Absolutely. Gridlock still sniffing around for their first break of the game. They'll have an opportunity here. Looks like we're going to get another Jezierski pull. And we're looking at a similar D-line to what we've seen so far from Gridlock. You can see the wind.
It's really gusting. It seems like Surge is going downwind at this point. I think it is more difficult to score going from left to right on your screen. So Surge has the advantage of being slightly downwind here.
I think we've maybe only seen one score in the end zone on the right.
I think that's correct. It looks like Gridlock is trying a zone of their own here, trying to make Surge go take a ton of little passes and turn it over on one of these.
Cunningham and Wagner touching the disc a lot. They'll get it over to Milligan.
Oh, fakes the hammer. It's a great throw by Cunningham.
Really slicing right through the middle of that cup.
And it seems like Gridlock is staying in a zone here. Sometimes teams have transitioned to person at this point, but it seems like Gridlock is sticking with their zone for now.
Wagner. We'll find Cunningham to Maroon. Morse again.
It's great patience from Surge to not take any throws that are risky 50-50 throws that could get blocked by Gridlock. Now we hear the fire call. Now it looks like we're going to have a person defense here from Gridlock.
And these transitions can be hard, but it seems like Gridlock has done a good job.
We have a foul call. Pressburg is saying that Milligan fouled them on that upline cut. A little bit of a push off on the upline. So something else to note here, Caroline, we haven't talked about this yet, but in the PUL, there's slightly different rules from other Ultimate that folks may have seen. Here, there's no buzzer beaters, like another professional Ultimate, but whoever has the disc at the end of the quarter gets to maintain possession, and if they score, it's a goal, and if they turn it over, the quarter's over. So here, if you're Surge, something that's really important is not letting Gridlock have a possession. You know, we have about 30 seconds on the clock, and that is a lot of time. It is a lot of passes, but it is crucial here for Surge to stop Gridlock from getting an offensive possession.
Great catch from Morse. Really rises up to grab that disc from Milligan. Connerly to Morse, or sorry, Cunningham
to Morse.
C last name's getting me tripped up. Wagner now. And that'll be Linda Morse to Poppy Wagner for the score. just before the buzzer. 7 seconds on the clock now.
If you're Surge, I think you really would have liked to spread out that possession on 7 more seconds and stop Gridlock from getting another O point. But you also are very happy you didn't turn it over. That is definitely the most crucial thing here. Surge is thrilled that they have a goal here and they're up by 2.
A lot of give and go around this end zone. Morse will get it right back. And then Wagner will take off. It's a great throw by Morse.
Also, great intuition to go to that spot from Wagner. She's really been a huge boon for the Surge this year. She goes to the University of Pennsylvania, who just had a very successful run at college nationals, and I know she's been a huge part of this team. She can be quiet at times, but I think she is really a natural leader, and that has really been seen on the field this year for her.
Yeah, it's been amazing as someone that played alongside her in past seasons when she was kind of getting her bearings still into the professional scene. Obviously now she's kind of a mainstay of this Surge team and really comfortable with the disc in her hands.
Absolutely. It is sometimes very difficult to slot folks with less experience into the backfield just because they get so many touches, and she's really risen to the occasion this year, I think. So now we have an end of quarter scenario. Gridlock will have about 7 seconds. They just need to keep the disc for 7 seconds, and then they will get a full possession here.
So if you had the disc in your hand, Shields, would you wait until stall 3 to even make a throw?
No, I don't think so. I think you want to keep the disc moving. I think here, you want 1 or 2 throws to start it off, and there we go. She throws it right away to Krebs.
3, 2,
Ooh.
1.
Those are some tight throws, I would say.
All right,
they'll
now
keep possession.
Gridlock can really take a sigh of relief and just try to score here.
Cartagena will look for Krebs.
I love the pre-work that Krebs is doing there in the backfield.
Yeah, this handler squad of Gridlock is just so talented, and you see it there. Connerly to Krebs for the score, and that is kind of an interesting, if Surge had been able to slow it down, it would have been a 4-2 end of the first quarter situation, but instead will be 4-3 going into the second quarter.
Yeah, it's so difficult in the PUL to manage these end-of-quarter scenarios. The margins are so thin in this league. As we were talking about before, so many of these games are won by a small number of goals, and if you can really win the margins, that is where you can win these games. But good for Surge for scoring. You don't want to turn it over with 7 seconds, but there they do let Gridlock have 1 more possession, and Gridlock is able to convert that.
1, flip, heads. If your hands are on your heads, you stay up. If your hands are on your hips, you sit down.
Yeah, so this is the end of the first quarter. What a fantastic start to this game, and we are really excited for the rest of the game, aren't we, Caroline?
Yes. We'll be back with you in a moment.
If your head, lock it in. Lock it in. Ready? 3.
I'm here at the Triangle Ultimate Middle School Championships, where over 30 middle school teams are showing us exactly what the future of our sport looks like. Local, accessible, youth ultimate. At the Ultimate Foundation, we envision a world where everyone has the opportunity to experience ultimate as a sport that inspires integrity, relationships, and belonging. Founded in 2014, we are the philanthropic arm of USA Ultimate. Our funding priorities are focused on fostering access, growing youth ultimate, investing in local communities, and supporting the Girls Ultimate Movement and the Del Rico Johnson Fund. Our mission is to fuel a future for ultimate that is accessible to all backgrounds and identities by supporting USA Ultimate programs, partners, and communities. Let's stop sitting on the sidelines. Let's make the ultimate difference for the next generation.
Welcome back. Second quarter about to get underway here in Philadelphia. And
Surge is starting here on offense.
the Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
Philadelphia will start on offense on the My Best Birthday side of the field.
We want to remind you that this live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Breakmark Ultimate Apparel. Go to breakmark.com to place your next custom team order or check out the PUL Athlete Collab shops.
Yeah, we also want to shout out Gina Weary, who's one of the sponsors of Surge. She's the season title sponsor. Gina Weary of Remax Ready Conshohocken is the title sponsor for the 4th consecutive year in the Surge 2026 season. We'll have more on Gina when we have another break in the game. For now, Surge is back on offense.
Yep, so maintaining that 2-break lead, they'll be on offense here, running a horizontal stack, and they'll get it downfield to Sarah Hiernett. Morse now. Maroon rises. Really nice defense there on McKenna. Cunningham to Wagner.
Surge working it really well in this slight upwind direction.
Shifty throw from Cunningham. I really liked that fake, but a little too high for Morse. So a break opportunity to tie it up downwind at the beginning of the second quarter. Disc is with number 6, Parrott. Jezerski. Number 31, Pressburg. Pressburg to Jezerski. To Brown, to Jezerski. Back to Brown. A lot of small give-and-go throws from these handlers.
Surge doing a great job making sure the handlers have to keep passing it between themselves and not getting any looks upfield. Looks like a pick or a foul here in the stack. McKenna's holding her foot here. Perhaps she got stepped on.
Seems like the disc will stay with Pressburg on the far side of the field.
Just a little bit too high there.
Oh, but this is interesting. Perhaps a timeout was called by Gridlock before the throw.
Yeah, I think that is accurate. Well called by the Gridlock coaches here. You love that when you're a player on the field and your turnover gets negated by a timeout from your coach. It really feels like a gift.
It must feel awesome as a coach to make a call like that and for it to work out so well.
Let's see the Macarena.
So a little more on Gina Weary. She's a longtime Ultimate player and fan, starting her Ultimate career in 1990. And Gina donates to PATA, the Philadelphia Area Disc Alliance, each time a member of the Ultimate community is a buyer or seller client of hers. Get in touch with Gina at ginaweary.com or find her in the stands tonight for all your real estate needs.
Absolutely. Gina is the best. I really recommend her if you're looking to buy or sell a home. Really find Gina. We also want to shout out another one of our sponsors, My Best Birthday. My Best Birthday is a proud game day sponsor of Surge. Hosts Reed DeSabato, Matt Ciarocci, and Jason Warley are your one-stop for hosting the best events for you, your family, and your friends. Find Reed or Matt tonight or book your best event at mybestbday.org. Oh no, first throw turnover from Gridlock. Oh no.
That is so sad. The coach made a great decision, only I think the wind shoved that one down a little bit.
Absolutely. We keep harping on the wind here. Maybe the fans at home ask us what we're talking about, but it really is affecting so many of these throws. It's just so swirly. It's not even going one consistent direction. I think it's really messing with a lot of these players' throws.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen some amazing catches.
Oh, I love that. I love that look from Liang. Rachel Alfano, number 3, is so good at seeing those options deep, but there just wasn't able to connect.
So close to a Callahan, but not quite. And Semper will find
Grace Maroon, number 19.
great.
So Surge is able to hold despite a couple of turnovers there. It's 5-3 now.
That was an exciting point.
Yeah.
A lot could have happened there. This game could have changed a little bit. Obviously, everything is still within fighting distance for Gridlock.
This is great patience from Semper. A lot of chaos sort of right downfield of her, and she's able to stay patient and find an option downfield that leads to a goal for Grace Maroon.
Yeah, Grace was so hidden in the stack, I wasn't even sure who had made the score, but it was a great kind of last ditch, really great cut from Grace from the middle of the stack. The stands are really filling up here in Philly in front of us. We've got a really nice crowd on this summer night. Feels like summer.
It really does. It also, you may not know this, viewer, it is Dollar Dog Night here at the South Philadelphia Super Site. So I don't know how many folks are here for Ultimate, how many are here for the Dollar Dogs, but maybe some of column A, some of column B for our viewers here in Philadelphia.
Pole goes up. Connerly to Cartagena.
You hate to see that collision. I think Harness was really tracking the disc there, but just got a little bit too close to Krebs. Don't love that contact, but it looks like Krebs is okay. And it'll just go down as a regular foul.
Amazing of Krebs to get that off so instantly. Give and go, and then we'll shoot deep. Amazing play.
Yeah, Banter Ryan really goes up and gets that one. Really great offense there.
And now Gridlock will have to be patient in this upwind-ish end zone. But Krebs able to just slice through all of the wind and find
America for that goal.
Yeah. Number 4, Waverka.
These points are all really big. When you're only down by 1 and you can get a break to even the score out, that would feel really great for Gridlock here. Surge really needs to keep the pedal on the metal if they want to stay ahead in this game. I think Gridlock is really starting to hunt those blocks, which makes the game more exciting for us.
Definitely. It is just so fun to watch Joey Krebs play, I have to say. That deep puck, she's going into an insane amount of wind there. Amazing play by Banta Ryan also to track that down. But Krebs is able to just get the disc into these tiny spots.
She's so bouncy, and the amount of pre-work that she does, she's not just standing there, she's really starting to move her feet and move her defender into an area where she wants her so that she can get open on those small cuts in the handler space. One of the things she's always been so fantastic at. Nice pull here from Gridlock.
And they are hunting for that break. Liang. Find Cunningham. Milligan now cuts through to Morse. Kind of a zone look from Gridlock.
A little bit. I think it's more of a poachy, saggy sort of look than an official zone, but maybe it is a real zone because I see Harris here in the deep space. They're really patrolling sort of the whole field.
Certainly causing Surge to make a lot of throws.
Yeah, now it definitely looks like a full-on cup here.
Milligan, Cunningham, and Liang with almost all the touches so far this point.
Yeah, Cunningham coming over from DC Shadow has been a great addition to Surge this year. She's really great to have in the backfield. She has fantastic throws and also always seems to be moving to the right positions.
You see McKenna there trying to direct traffic a little bit, telling folks to follow their throw. And Milligan is able to get some yards downfield. Great grab by Maroon. And Maroon will keep working it downfield. McKenna now.
Looks like New York is now in a person defense. They've broken out of the zone. Oh, great D there from Pressburg. Such great anticipation from Pressburg on that one. And now here we go. All Gridlock has to do is score to even up 5-5 in this game.
They're going to want this one. Let's see if they have the patience.
Oh, great catch, Harris.
Jazerski will shoot. Wow.
Eli
Pressburg
fantastic catch on that one over Melinda Morse.
rises for the score. And that changes things. The Surge is still up 1 break. We started on defense.
Yeah, I don't know if the concept of breaks is really the same as it is in a USA Ultimate sort of game here. With a timed game, you know, from half to half, you have 2. You start on offense twice, and you start on defense twice. But certainly, Surge probably feels like they're still up a break as they're receiving right now, and that is what matters. So let's shout out another sponsor for this season for Surge, Dr. Raha Mozafari, Dr. M, as she's referred to by her clients. She's been a practicing dentist since 2013. She recently purchased her own practice, Fishtown Dentistry, 2001, has been serving the Philly Ultimate community's teeth and smiles for years. Raha and her team are accepting new clients at their Fishtown location. You can find out more at fishtowndentistry.com.
So 5 minutes left.
Still so much time left in this game, Caroline.
Definitely. I think that this quarter has been slightly cleaner than the first. Does that seem right to you?
Yeah, I think so. I think the wind will die down a little bit. Maybe I'll be wrong, but it seems like as the afternoon is continuing, maybe the wind is slightly dying down, and that is helping some of these upwind scores take place.
Wagner to Maroon, the college teammates. Get it to Cunningham. Sorry for a bit of technical difficulties there. Surge was able to hold, go up 6-5, and Gridlock had an 0 point there, but a turnover, 2 throws in, so a chance here for Surge to go up yet another break, kind of get their break back.
Good work from Alvi there in the backfield to make sure she gets it on that break side. Just a little bit too casual there on that throw from Conroy.
Gridlock shooting immediately, and will find Emma Poyer yards away from the end zone. And We'll throw it to a diving Connerly, who gets it right back to an almost diving Poyer. And that will be a hold from Gridlock.
Yeah,
So,
great work to get the disc back there after turning it over on the second throw.
yeah, a complex hold, but a hold nonetheless to have us back tied at 6s.
S1 Medical is a Philadelphia-based medical management company created to help employers.
The clock is at 3 minutes and 39 seconds left in this quarter as we watch that one again.
Great catch there from Poyer. Really great focus over the defender to reel that one in.
This is a really exciting game, which is, what we expected from these two teams. Surge started the game really strong with 2 breaks, and we've seen Gridlock close that gap and mostly stay strong and hold consistently, but then get a break back to have it tied up at 6s.
Yeah, despite the playoff picture here, all of these players have a lot of pride, and all of these players want to win, and it does not matter that this game doesn't have an impact on the standings, and that's why we're seeing such a great game here, because everybody really wants to show their best, no matter if the game matters or not.
Another great catch from Morse, who will get it back to Liang, who will find Hiranet, to Cunningham, to Maroon.
Little collision there in the middle of the field. Looks like
Wow,
that one
I
will be a pick.
was so impressed by how fast the disc was moving on that Surge offensive possession.
I love these inside throws. It's such a great way to get the disc up the field in stride when you have someone running towards the middle of the field and you're able to hit that inside flick for a righty.
Hope everyone's okay. Seems like a bit of a collision.
Yeah, it just looks like there was a bit of a pick there in the stack.
Cunningham moving the mark. Trust throw to Morse. Morse with a little bit of a trust throw back that Cunningham just couldn't quite track.
That's a really hard one to reel in because you're wondering if someone's about to come at you from the other side and get a block. So that's a really hard one to track down coming over your shoulder like that.
And Gridlock will move the disc down the field. Ashley Wright will get it to Pressburg.
Another pick in the stack.
Fair amount of calls this game.
Yeah, definitely. I think both of these teams know each other very well, and most of these calls don't seem like there's any malice behind them, or any of these fouls, but still does seem like a lot of calls in a game like this. And Gridlock squanders their chance to go up for the first time in this game, and Surge will be back on offense.
If you're a part of the halftime presentation,
Have to work at the full 70.
But again here, talking about time, Caroline, at the end of the quarter, here we have about a minute and a half left, a little bit more than a minute and a half, and we'll see if Surge can maintain possession and not give Gridlock another chance to score in this quarter.
But a deep shot from Liang.
Bonacy, great bid there, just not able to reel it in. And now New York faces the same dilemma. Can they maintain possession of the disc?
And they cannot. None of these decisions, in my opinion, are bad decisions. But the connections just aren't quite working. And I think that's now 3 back-to-back-to-back no completions.
Yeah, the coaches have had enough of it. We have a timeout here from New York. I'm sure the players are gonna hear a lecture on. We worked on these end of quarter scenarios in practice just last week, and now we're turning it over on somewhat questionable looks with less than a minute left in the game.
I think there's 1 minute, 1 second on the clock as we look back at some of those turnovers. Enjoying the action? You too can be an ultimate player with the Philadelphia Area Disc Alliance. Since 1985, PATA has been running co-ed recreational ultimate leagues throughout the year in Philadelphia, Delaware, Chester County, and South Jersey. Also, This live broadcast is brought to you by the Premier Ultimate League. The PUL is a 501c6 nonprofit. This league has been community funded since day one, and we are so grateful for the support. We ask that you consider donating to help us continue to transform and fulfill our mission. Head to premierultimateleague.com to donate today.
All right, so we have about a minute left in the quarter. What do you think we're going to see here, Caroline?
I hope what I really like to see in the PUL is when teams have a very clear and specific play for end of quarter. I think usually that looks something like a handler weave.
I was just about to say the same thing. I think it doesn't seem like Gridlock is doing it here, but with their handler core, Gridlock really could just throw it back and forth with their handlers for a minute, and I don't think anyone would be able to stop them.
And instead, they'll it's not even a deep look, but just a bit of an away shot, and we've seen again and again this game, those discs are rising, and we've seen some amazing catches. But there, the Gridlock player couldn't pull it down. Faye Epstein will get the block for that catch D. And now...
Yeah, Epstein is the block leader for Surge this year. She has 11 blocks on the season. Make it 12 now after that one. But it seems that Surge wants to sub their offense on the field with about 45 seconds left in the quarter and see if they can punch in this goal before the quarter ends.
This is the second timeout of this point, right?
All right, fans, he says he knows it. We can do it with it.
And we will go to a quick ad and be right back.
And we're back for the Philadelphia Super Site after that quick break. Surge very close to the end zone already, trying to see if they can put one in before the end of the quarter.
And doing the Cotton Eye Joe, which I think is probably a special good luck charm for ending this quarter in the way they want.
This is flawless execution. It's really hard to find anything wrong with Surge's rendition of Cotton Eye Joe here.
40 seconds on the clock.
There we go. Morse kind of just sneaking into the back of the end zone there, but can't reel that one in. Oh, that hurts so much. Let's see if she can get it back on defense.
That is a bummer, especially considering the score and the time. This will now, if Gridlock can play their cards right, we will go to half either maintaining a 6-6 score or with Gridlock up 7-6.
Nice catch there from Pressburg. They really got up to handle that one.
3, 2, 1. It's the end of that.
All right, it seems like Gridlock has ran out the clock, so they'll get to finish the possession here. Surge will not have a chance on offense. So as Caroline said, we'll either be going to the break even or with Gridlock up a goal. Wow. Fantastic catch there from Nikki Hare.
Back to Pressburg. And an unfortunate turn there from Harris. And that means we will go to halftime tied at 6. I think kind of what we expected, a really close game, maybe slightly messier than either team would have liked, but it's been really fun to watch. We'll be trying to get some dollar dogs, or at least I will. Maybe take a quick snack break. And yeah.
We'll see you in the second half.
And one loud, huge cheer, much louder, a much louder cheer.
Welcome back to the South Philadelphia Super Site for the second half of this awesome game between Gridlock and Surge. I think there's fewer points than I was expecting at this point in the game, but it's about as even as I was expecting. So we'll see if the offense is on both teams is able to clean it up in the second half. We also just want to shout out Gina Weary, the title sponsor of the Surge. She's the realtor with Remax Ready. She proudly sponsors Surge. This is her 4th straight year as title sponsor. She has been playing Ultimate in the Paddock community for over 30 years. So when you're ready to buy or sell a home in the Philadelphia area, contact Gina at ginawary.com.
It's great to be back with you guys and back here. I had a couple dollar dogs, and I'm fueled up and ready to go for this second half.
Do you think any of the players had any dollar dogs during that halftime, Caroline?
That is a great question. Some players are really able to do that sort of thing. I was never one to be able to do that. I feel like I basically didn't eat during games.
Same. I don't know if that's a good thing, but here we are back in second half action.
An O-line from Gridlock. Cartagena working it with Connerly and Krebs. The same kind of star-studded cast that we've seen in the backfield.
Surge really trying to hold these handlers in the backfield with some switching, and there it generates a turn when the handlers have to throw it downfield. Turnover from Krebs there.
Great grab from Nina Koshiup, reeling that in, getting it down the field to Liv Steinberg. McKenna to Maroon. Who will find? Looking for McKenna again, but can't quite connect.
A strong cut up line there for McKenna. That is the right look, just not able to have a completion there with Grace Maroon as the thrower. So the Gridlock O-line back on offense.
Cartagena, middle of the field. We'll get it down the field. But unfortunately, a turnover there from Banta Ryan. Second half starting a little bit like the first half started.
That's right. We'll see if there's as many turnovers as there was in the first point of the first half. But Surge is hoping not. They're hoping they can work it down the field and score. Oh, such a great bid from Alvey there. Just can't catch it.
Connerly thought about the deep shot.
I think Connerly really wanted that one. Just made the decision not to throw it.
Banta Ryan with it now. Opts for the safe reset.
Cartagena really controlling the backfield here. She's kind of getting it every other, and she's doing a really good job of keeping the disc in the middle and looking for her cutters downfield. Koshiup calls a foul on Krebs, saying she pushed off in the front of the stack. Krebs was really working with some fancy footwork there. I'm not sure if it was a foul. I'd have to watch it again, but here we go. Let's see. Koshiup saying she pushed her arm a little bit there, I would say. I'm not sure how I feel about that as a foul. There's definitely some contact, but in games like this, you are expecting a little bit of contact, and we'll see. I think Koshiup's going to the observer here to say whether it is a foul or not.
You can definitely see Krebs kind of extending.
Yeah, with the extension, perhaps that is a foul. Yeah, that's what she's miming right now on the field.
But I agree with you, Shields. It's kind of interesting in Ultimate where there, is a rule book. There's kind of the word of the law, but then there's also the way it's interpreted by players. And I think a lot of contact is kind of accepted as the norm.
Especially in higher level play. One of the beauties of Ultimate is that it is a self-officiated sport. There's no referees in this sport who are watching you and calling all the fouls. And so really it's a discussion between you and your defender as to what's an acceptable level of contact. And there it just seems like there was a little bit of disconnect between Krebs and Koshiup about what an acceptable level of contact for Krebs as the offender in that situation has. And it looks like they just go back to Cartagena.
Who will find Connerly.
Great save there. Wow. That's a fantastic save by Poyer. To catch that was definitely not intended for her.
Amazing. Was looking for 87 Chin, but went too far past her. I believe it was Banta Ryan that made the play, who will then get it right back to Chin, who was the original receiver, eyed by Connerly.
Pretty incredible play there from Gridlock. They have to be happy about that one. And now they have taken their first lead of the game. It is 7-6 Gridlock. How is Surge going to respond to this? What do you think is going through the minds of the Surge players right now, Caroline?
Yeah, it's interesting because just looking back at this replay.
Wow, great catch there by Poyer.
Yeah. Oh, Poyer, you're right. Number 53. With the assist there to Chin. Yeah, it's interesting because it switches off between offense and defense. And so even though at half, 6-6, it was kind of unclear who was ahead in terms of breaks, now Gridlock has taken the lead.
Yeah, Gridlock definitely has more momentum right now than Surge. Surge started the game off so hot, and Gridlock's been slowly clawing their way back into this game and now has their first lead. Great pull from Jazierski there.
Would be great to see a clean possession here from Surge.
New York coming out again in this zone, so it looks like there's a mark and then sort of a wall. So you have two players standing behind the mark that are trying to stop throws upfield.
And I think Surge has a little bit been struggling in the zone. What do you think?
I agree. It just requires a lot of passes to make their way through the zone, and they have been successful at getting the disc through, but it just does take that one throw to sort of start breaking it through the zone, and Surge has not always had an easy time finding those windows.
We've stayed in a pretty similar spot on the field. The disc has exchanged lots of hands.
Yeah, Parrott doing a great job here on the mark, stopping those downfield throws. A really wide mark, and she's making it very difficult for the handlers to see what's going on in the middle of the field.
Big blade will get it to Morse. Cunningham, who will find kind of the first major yards of the point down the field to Liang.
And now Gridlock is in person defense.
So a slightly earlier transition than we've seen other points.
Wow.
And Wagner was looking for Hiranet.
Who I think is calling a foul, and it looks like Cassie Brown will contest that foul. I really love that throw from Wagner. Again, we talk about the shape of the throw. You really want to give your receiver the best chance to catch it without a block from the defender, and I think Poppy's throw there, as we see it again here on the screen, really shaped this well for Hiranet, even though she couldn't reel it in. It's still, I think, the right spot and the right shape from Wagner.
Yeah, I think as we've seen this game, a lot of these throws are just floating a little bit more than the players might expect. But it does seem like there was contact there.
The foul is upheld, and Surge will get the disc near the goal line.
And Wagner will get rewarded for the nice deep look. It'll be going the other way, Hiranet to Wagner, rather than Wagner to Hiranet for the score.
And there's the clean hold you were looking for there, Caroline. Surge really responds. It can be tough when you have had the mindset of being up in the game and just needing to preserve possession and score on your O points, to having to come from behind and score your O points, but then also make sure you get breaks on D. Surge does a great job of putting their D-line back on the field and making New York hold under pressure here. As we get another look at that goal, at this end zone possession from Surge.
I think Surge will feel good, yeah, having been able to get the clean hold there. Kind of a foul call, messing things up a little bit, but able to get this back tied up.
And looks like Surge is keeping McKenna on the field. Usually we see her more on O-line, but cross over to D on important points, and here she is pulling. This is an important D point for Surge. They would love to take control back of this game after being up in the first half.
Great pull from McKenna, fielded well by Chin, ultimately getting it up to Cartagena, Krebs.
Nice throw from Krebs to Poyer there in the middle. It's so fun watching Jolie Krebs play. You watch her in the backfield, and she does such a good job of, again, moving her defender, getting into the position at the right time that her cutter needs her.
Chin will fire.
Abby Thompson, what a great... Oh, it was a block, but now it's not. Banter Ryan with a second effort catch. Wow.
That was an amazing play. Kind of what Sarah Hiranet maybe would have attempted if not fouled on that last one, but exciting to see it pan out there. And Sadie Jazierski will get the score for Gridlock with the emphatic spike.
She's excited about that one, and I see why. A great throw there, but in a pretty small window between two defenders that were closing in on that position. That's a really frustrating point for Surge there. You know, you get you force a turnover, but then it's not a turnover. You get this block from Abby Thompson, and then Bantaryan is just able... I don't even know if Thompson touched it there, but still great defense, and even better reaction time there from Bantaryan.
Yeah, I'm not sure I've ever successfully pulled off a catch like that. Certainly not in a game as high stakes as this one, and it's got to feel good.
It has to feel good, and I think as an athlete, frustrating your opponent is such an important mental step in the game. You know, you love to have the points on the board, but also making Surge feel like they were just ripped off. You know, they got the block, and then it wasn't a block. It's really mentally a great place to be in for Gridlock.
S1 Medical is a Philadelphia-based medical management company created to help employers when their employees are injured on the job. s-1medical.com. Surge on offense here. Same cast of characters. Sarah Liang with the disc on the sideline.
I like Liang starting downfield here. Sometimes you see her starting in the backfield, but there she started in the downfield part of the horizontal stack, and you were able to see her get the disc on the second or third pass, which is great for Surge because she's a great thrower.
Surge working it really smoothly. Most players on the field have touched the disc at this point. And that is a decisive score.
Cunningham to Wagner on that one. Great upline cut from Wagner. She really had a lot of space on her defender and made that a really easy throw for Cunningham. And we are all tied up again at 8.
That was one of, there have been various clean points, i.e. no turnover points this game, but this was the one that I think I've seen that was the most uncontested. It just felt like Surge kind of got everything they were looking for. So we'll have to see what Gridlock is going to throw in here to attempt to get a break.
We're throwing T-shirts into the crowd, so we have a lot of cheering. Hopefully that'll help Surge as they attempt to get another break here.
A line with several fresh players for Surge.
Yeah, M. Moeller here on the pole. One of M's best attributes as a player is her pulls. They really put the offense in a bad position. We'll see if she can do that here. And it's a good one.
Chin to Connerly to Cartagena.
Looks like Surge is coming out here in his zone with Harnage as the mark. Again, we saw this zone in the first half, and we were successful. The Surge were successful at getting New York to throw a lot of risky passes, and that is exactly what they are looking for on this point as well.
Handlers have been getting some crafty throws around the Surge Cup. Hard to even call the names of the people with the disc because it's moving so quickly.
Which is exactly what you want as an offense in a zone.
Krebs to Connerly, right on the doorstep now. Krebs really wanting to throw the score, but opts for the reset. And there, she will get the score to 87 Chin.
Nice work there from the Gridlock O-line to go back up 9-8.
2 back-to-back incredibly clean points for both teams.
Yeah, I do think the wind is calming down a little bit, although every time I look at the flag, it doesn't look so calm. But both teams are more successful. They're taking a lot of these shorter throws. We've seen in the first half that the longer throws are much more likely to be affected by the wind than blocked. This was such a bullet of a throw by Krebs that I don't even think the wind had a chance to affect it. And it worked out really well for them. So with about 4 minutes left here in the third quarter, Surge will try to even the game up at 9. Looks like we have an O-line with the usual suspects for Surge. We'll see if Gridlock comes out in his own.
Cunningham will track that down. Get it to Wagner, who gets it to Milligan, who thought about it. Well, up for the...
Nice mark there from Sam Harris. They really stopped Morris from throwing that deep throw that she was looking for.
Call on the field seems like a pick of some kind. Nice initial movement from Serge. Wagner to Cunningham. Back to Wagner. Milligan.
Again, I think Gridlock is doing a really great job here of shutting off Serge's initial look right after catching the disc. It seems like they're going a little bit flat on the marks to stop the immediate huck, and that has really stopped Serge from hitting a couple of these deep throws that they are looking for.
Milligan able to slice through there to Kiernet on the break side. Kiernet will get it back from Wagner. And Cunningham will find Liang in the end zone.
And that's a clean hold for Serge. Third in a row between these two teams.
Yeah, it really seems like the mentality has shifted down there. People are locked in. We'll just have to see how that translates on the defensive side.
Absolutely, yeah. When the offense starts cooking like this, the defense really needs to step up. They can't just rely on the offense throwing it into the ground or throwing it over the head of their teammates. So here, it means that you need to be a little bit tighter on defense. You need to really force these blocks rather than just expecting that your opponent is going to turn it over.
Absolutely.
So who do we think have been the most impact players in this game so far, Caroline? Who have you been most impressed by so far in this game?
Such a good question. I think that on the Gridlock side, we've been talking about her a lot, but Jolie Krebs, to me, is just such an amazing player. On the Surge side, you know, I think we talked about her a little bit earlier in the game. I've been really impressed with Wagner this whole game. I think she's just been a really consistent force on offense.
Absolutely. I completely agree. It's exactly who I was going to say, Caroline. I agree. Surge pitting Gridlock here on their goal line. They weren't able to field the pull, and now they have to go a pretty long distance to their goal line.
The crowd was excited about that roll.
And it's a bit of energy for Surge. Again, trying to stay close and force these blocks rather than just anticipating they're going to come.
The give and go is amazing. Krebs throws a pretty long downfield throw there to Poyer and then gets it right back somehow instantly. Waverka, high floating throw.
Block leader Faye Epstein with another one.
I think she took off into the stratosphere. That was amazing.
Nice D there from Cartagena to get the disc back.
Okay, we wanted defense. We've got
Here
defense.
we go. Surge got a little bit out over their skis there after that very exciting block from Epstein. Just tried to move it a little bit too fast.
Huge throw from Cartagena. Floating. Moeller this time coming down with the block. Didn't want Epstein to get the back-to-back stats there, I guess.
And it seems like Surge has called the timeout here. They want to get their offense on the field. So great work from the defense. That's what you want out of your defense. You want to have the disc in their hands so you can get your offense back on the field.
I think that's a good call. I think that Surge, we're up so much of this game. We really need a break to get back in that position. And, you know, this was a couple turns in. It wasn't that the defense turned it once and they subbed off onto the O-line, but they gave a couple chances. There was this quick turnover.
Wow, that block from Epstein. Oh, my gosh.
After the crazy block. And now they said, let's get our offensive unit in, try and close this one out cleanly. It was a great play from Cartagena also, I would say, to get that block.
Yeah, just M. Muller does a really nice job of tracking that one. I don't think she's on the defense there. I don't think that's her person, but she does a really nice job of helping. So Surge is coming out here in a host stack. Liang is picking up the disc. Interestingly, they have 2 handlers to the left of Liang rather than a more balanced set. It seems like we're just looking for these short passes, and Gridlock comes out in his own, so that works out really well for the Surge setup.
Surge working in some tight spaces here. Wagner has it. We'll get it to Cunningham. All the way to Morse.
Surge with give and goes of their own.
Amazing throw from Cunningham to McKenna. Really opens up the space. A huge opportunity for Surge here. And McKenna will find a wide open Linda Morse.
That is
it. Surge back on top.
An MVP throw from Lindsay McKenna. She saw Morse streaking deep and was able to put the right distance and edge on that throw to make it an easy catch for Linda Morse.
Well, when you make that decision as a coach to sub out your D-line, sub in the O-line, that's exactly what you're hoping to happen, right? I think at the beginning of this, they were working it, some small passes. It's this great look from Cunningham that really opens up the space to McKenna. And while McKenna surveys the field for a while here, you can see Morse just taking off deep, running off your screen.
I think potentially what happened there is the defender Parrott thought she had help in the deep space and stopped tracking Morse, but it turned out she did not have help, and Morse was able to just walk into the end zone uncontested there.
That's a great throw from McKenna. Great play from the Surge O-line that subbed in to get that break. About 47 seconds here in the third quarter.
Surge opts to try to pin Gridlock on the sideline with a pull that rolls out of bounds.
The lights are coming on as the sun sets here in Philadelphia.
Yeah, I can't tell if the sky is getting darker because it's nighttime or darker because it's about to rain. And then the offense probably hopes it's the getting darker, not the raining.
We're pretty safe up here in the booth, but we'd have a big wet crowd if the skies opened up.
That's right. The players and the crowd do not want the rain.
Cartagena will find Krebs right in front of the end zone. Wow! What a bid from Emily Moeller. That was a pretty sure throw from Krebs to number 53, Poyer. You see that she has space, but M. Moeller just closes the gap.
I think Poyer wasn't quite ready for that throw. I think she was starting to move the other direction when Krebs threw that and just wasn't able to haul it in. And it means that Surge will get the last possession of the half, it seems. May have called a timeout there. I was worried it was the end of the quarter, but before the Surge got possession. But Surge will end the third quarter with their offense on the field, looking to go up 11-9, which I'm sure they would be thrilled about.
Yeah, I mean, that would be a big turn after, it was 9-9, Gridlock on offense. To go up 11-9 into the last quarter would be exactly what the Surge coaching staff is looking for.
We also want to shout out another sponsor for the Surge, Adam Cracked. With Cross Country Mortgage, he's here to help you with all your mortgage needs. He's also an amazing player and contributor to the Philadelphia Ultimate community. He's helped dozens of Philadelphia Ultimate community members buy their perfect home and also offers special programs for first-time buyers. Find him online at ccm.com/AdamCraft.
And founded in 2020, Discover Diversity creates a space where Black players can show up fully, play freely, and experience a genuine sense of belonging, especially within Ultimate Frisbee. Through intentional events and playing opportunities, we center community, leadership, and joy while celebrating the talent and resilience of Black players. Our goal is to expand access, champion collaboration, and inspire the next generation of athletes.
I think something's rolling in, Caroline. The wind just picked up pretty strongly. People's hats are blowing off. We see some debris blowing across the field. I think this may be a bit of a storm rolling in, and so we'll have to see how that affects the game.
The stands in front of us are kind of eerily emptying out as people leave.
Everyone's holding onto their hats. And there you see it on the field. Wow, what a grab from Morse! Oh my gosh! And another great grab from Hiranet.
You can see the conditions playing out a little bit. And some debris floating across the field.
It's hard to tell what's the disc and what's a napkin flying across the field.
And unfortunately, though, that was a close call. Grace Maroon will say it was down. And we'll end the quarter at 10-9.
Still, Surge has to be pretty happy with this. It seemed like for a while there they were losing a bit of momentum, but they really seemed to recapture that momentum with that last throw from McKenna to Morse. It's a really great throw for them to build off of for the fourth quarter.
So we'll have a little bit of a break before we start the fourth quarter. It's anyone's game. Stay with us. It'll be a great fourth quarter.